easier and nicer to just live life with the simple assumption that everything's working out for me. That no matter what it is, this is what need to happen to get to the things I want. Like, it's just nicer. Like, it's just,
The
it's more
universe
pleasant.
is always conspiring in your favor. It is, it is. Even when it feels like it's not, it is, because this is one of my therapist's favorite things is I needed to hit that red light because there was a wreck up ahead. If I got there early, I could have tripped and fallen. You know, it's like that you do not know what you are being saved from every single time a door closes. Because you don't know what's on the other side of the door. You think you do. You imagine what it is, and you make out all the good things that you missed out on. But the grass is always greener, even for the version of life that you've created in your head. But the universe is conspiring in your favor. It is.
I love that. Yeah, let's just believe that. And act as if that's true. Like, if you're going to manifest anything, manifest that. Like, fuck all the other shit. Like, it's all useless. But just believe that. And we started with luck, right? That, to me, is what I would define luck as. The universe conspiring in my favor. Why not?
Yeah.
Like, why not choose to believe that? You want to talk about free will? Okay, choose to believe that. Use your free will there and see what happens if you think you have free will. Like, choose to believe that. It's a choice. So then do you get upset when you get stopped at a red light if you truly believe that? No. Do you worry about being late to an engagement? No. Because maybe I was meant to be late. No. Again, that doesn't give us right to go off and be assholes to everybody. Like, I hate being late to things. I hate to make other people wait. So I won't do that. But I could. If I did, it would happen for a reason. Again, it's just choose to believe that. Make that your free will choice. Then you don't need to choose anything else. Like, just choose that one thing. I choose to believe that everything works out for me at all times. Listen, if I'm going to say robotic affirmations, I want to say that every hour on the hour. Like, I want that playing in my mind constantly. I want to, those old commercials. Now I'm really dating myself. The Palmolive commercials where like, oh, you're soaking in this dish soap. Like anyone this will get that. But that's how it is with this. Like, I want to saturate myself with this idea that I cannot make any mistakes. I literally cannot make a mistake. Why not? I don't go around hurting people. So, this is not I could see how somebody could take this to be a complete jerk. I can't make any mistakes. Right. But in a sense, doesn't the current president kind of do that? I don't know. He seems to manifest a lot of shit, dude. Like, talk about good, bad, or ugly. Like, what the fuck? 10 years ago, this would have been impossible.
Yeah. I do think that and with this, like, you don't make any mistakes, I think that there is, like, a higher order and a lower order of that, right? Where it's, like, you don't make any mistakes in the sense that, like, you can't really do anything wrong. And that even when you do make a mistake, the lesson you are supposed to learn there is the better choice because it's the path of something you need to learn, right? Like, even if I accidentally, like, put my foot in my mouth with my dear friend and I accidentally say something, like, is that a mistake in some sense? Yes, but also through me messing up, having a conversation with my friend about it, our friendship gets closer. So was it a mistake? In some senses, yes, but in other senses, no, because it brought me closer to a dear friend. So I think that's kind of the other, I don't know, don't let me project that onto you, but that's how I think about this, like, you can't make mistakes thing too. That's like, not in a, you're infallible, but in a find the lesson, find the learning, find the good in it all, because it is there. The church is everywhere for those with eyes to see.
I even take it a step further in that I'll go one level, I'll go meta beyond that and just say that not that I needed to learn a lesson, not that it just was what needed to happen, period, because it's what I needed to get what I really want. It's what I needed to get what my purpose is, the reason I'm here to occur, for me to be fulfilled. I just choose. Do I understand it? No. Do I have proof that it's true? No. God, no. But the more you lean into it as a thought exercise, the less anxious you get because you can just let that shit go. Because it's like, either this is true or it isn't. If it isn't true, then I'm fucked. Like, because I can't control anything and life is fucking random and I have no control over it. So, okay. That's the alternative to me. Like, because you'll never get me to believe that there's a daddy in the sky controlling everything.
Yeah, so, no sky daddy.
There's no sky daddy. So what else do I have to fall back on? I choose to fall back on me, being God.
Yeah.
And I call it the God me. I do, maybe someday I'll get to the point where I don't feel the need to differentiate between me, the I here on this earth, this flesh bag, versus the God me. Maybe at some point you become so one that they are just one in the same.
Right, I was just going to say, and the non-duality of it all, too, right? That it's like any sort of God is all of us, and so God me is also God you, and then in dissolving this idea of the self. But in a recent podcast episode that I recorded, my guest said, you have to have an ego to transcend the ego. So there is something, too, about the experience of fleshbagness that is important. But sorry, I'll toss back to you.
No, you're absolutely right. There's something in this existence that needed to happen. I don't know. It wouldn't be the same without it. And I think it's the experience of this. I mean, think about it. If you were God, right? So whatever that means to you, source, whatever. We use words like omnipotent, etc. But what is the one thing if you know everything, what is the one thing you can't do? Well, you can't not know something. And maybe that gets old. Maybe knowing everything all the time, all at once, is just over fucking whelming, even to God. And so you know what? Like, maybe our human existence is God's fucking vacation. I don't know. Like, and we may say, why the hell would you want this vacation? You to go back to the homeless person on the street. Like, okay, if that's God, why would he choose that vacation? I don't know. Maybe experiencing whatever is preferable when you're a being that is everything all at once to nothing, to being that being. Like, the good and the bad cease to have meaning at that point because you're all of it anyway. I don't know. It's these glimpses. I don't think our human mind is able to. I think our spirit can get it, but our mind can't. And I'll just leave it with this, even for Christians, if any actually listen to us. I don't know, but Jesus. Read John 16 and John 17, where it's this brilliant prayer by Jesus over his disciples, and he says, Father, you help. And so at one point, I think in John 16, Jesus says, I thank you, or, basically says, you and I are one, talking to the Father. The Father and I are one. And he says this in multiple places. And so people use this as idea, the Trinity. This is sort of the basis for the Trinity, which didn't exist at the time of the writing of the New Testament, and philosophical concept of a Trinity, three beings in one, would not exist for hundreds of years. So anyone who tries to point at the Bible to say there's the Trinity is literally has no idea what they're talking about, because that concept literally didn't exist at the time. But anyway, if you just read those two chapters, Jesus says, the Father and I are one. But then later he says, I pray that my followers, my disciples, would know that they and I are one as you and I are one. So whatever relationship Jesus is to the Father, we are as well. Right. Because he's one with God, he said, and he prays that we would be one with him in the same way he's one with God. So I'm no mathematician anymore, but that
transitive property.
By the transitive property of being,
I
must also be one with God. Like, I mean, that there you want some logic. But again, I would be curious for anyone Christian how, if you truly listen to this with ears to hear and read that, what you make of it, without reading some apologetic argument for it. Just really, what meaning do you make of that? Like, Jesus' words, if you believe in Jesus, you believe his words, then you have to believe that piece too. Yeah. Or you're cherry picking. If you're consistent, you have to believe that. So what do you make of that? And for me, I guess I make that I am God. That literally there is and God is me, and we are one, and you are there too, and all of our listeners are there too. And it's just beautiful when you can really focus on that. I don't know. It is. And that's why I can't stop talking about it, because it is everything to me. It is the only thing to me. And in 50 years...
it's the thing that's like, whatever the big question... I've been calling it the mystery, right? Because it's like source, spirituality, religion. Like, I like saying source, but also I think that's because, like, God carries so many connotations, and I would like to be able to use that word without all of the connotations it carries. But I've just been saying the mystery because I think that kind of separates some of the spiritualness, too, that is, like, now even spirituality as a word turns people away, because there's all these connotations with it. So I'm like, whatever your relationship to the mystery is, it is the most important thing. whether or not, if there is a God or if any religion is true, that is the most important question. It is.
Yeah.
And so it's like it is everything, right?
Yeah, and for me, that's why I can't not talk about it, because it is the most important, it is the most fascinating, it is the thing that I love the most. I love this idea of who I am. And I want others to feel this way, because it is so wonderful to think of
freedom.
yourself this way. It is freedom, and it's responsibility, because it's hard in this world to continue. And that's why I do like affirmations. Some people don't like affirmations, but you're not affirming to make it happen. You're affirming to remind yourself that it's already true. And it's all in that mindset. If you're sitting there trying to make it happen, you'll be trying for a long time. But when you start to just allow, I love the word allow, because that's what it is. That you just allow it to be true. You let the words wash over you and you just allow them. And you say, I just choose to believe this is true. I choose to believe this is who I am. And when I don't feel that way, it doesn't matter. I still choose to believe this. There's your free will,
Yeah.
Choose to be God. That is your free will. I mean, that's the most important choice you can ever make. Choose to believe you're God and see what happens.